Arena for Dixie State women's basketball. Tonight taking on the Ore Diggers from Colorado School of Mines. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Drayson Ball, running things solo today as Carrick Segemiller stepping over to his left and doing the statistician duties for tonight's game. Once again, welcome you in for some women's basketball inside Burns Arena on the beautiful campus of Dixie State University. Just a few minutes from battle as starters are introduced. Let's get right into it, as we had no time for a TDS pregame show today, but we're going to give you just a few little quick here thoughts before tip-off in just a few minutes. We'll give you a couple quick keys to the game, as well as a Boulevard home starting lineups for both teams as we get set to do battle here inside Burns Arena. Colorado School of Mines comes into today's game with a 7-4 overall record, 4-2 in RMAC play, and they fresh off a victory over number 12 team in the country last night, Westminster, in Salt Lake City, Utah, an 80-70 final against the Griffins from Westminster, the number 12 ranked team in all the nation. A good win for this Ore Diggers team, who comes in on a back-to-back tonight in St. George and taking on a Dixie State team who would like to atone for last night's slip-up against 1-10 Colorado Springs in a game which, when we talked about it last night, a burn-the-tape games and a game you really want to get past, a game you want to get to today's game and get past that, and eager to get this game started, and hopefully the Trailblazers can come out a little bit better than they did last night against the Mountain Lions from Colorado Springs. Dixie State, an 8-4 overall record, just 3-3 in conference. All three of those conference losses coming in here inside Burns Arena on their home floor, so they look to turn things around tonight against the Ore Diggers from Colorado School of Mines. A few quick keys to the game. A name you're going to hear a lot tonight, and hopefully not too much, is Denali Pinto. She leads Colorado School of Mines in scoring at over 18 points a game. She comes off a 30-point performance last night against Westminster. She had 22 a few nights ago on December 21st against Colorado Springs. You're going to hear her name a lot tonight, and she'll be a key person to key on for Dixie State. Another key we'll get to in just a moment as we get set for tip-off. We'll also get you a few starters when we get a chance. No radio tonight. It's a TV-only game, and we are underway as the Ore Diggers control the opening tip. Liz Holter gives to Pinto, angle right. Entry pass given to Stanton. Faces the basket, tries to drive baseline, fakes right, jumper over left shoulder, no good, but an offensive rebound is grabbed by Sammy Van Sickle. Her put back up, no good. And after one offensive rebound, the Ore Diggers give it to Dixie State for their first offensive possession. London Pavlica holds top of the key, trying to set up this offense for Dixie State. Once again, a tough loss last night as Allie Franks gets the scoring going with a three-pointer, and the Trailblazers are on the board. A good start for them after a terrible start and really a terrible game last night against UC Colorado Springs. We have our first stoppage of play. While we got a second, let's give you our Boulevard home starting lineups for the Ore Diggers. Ashley Stefik, Liz Holter, Denali Pinto, as I mentioned, 18 points a game. Sammy Van Sickle, and Courtney Stanton rounds out the starters for Colorado School of Mines. For Dixie State, the same starters as last night. London Pavlica, Kesley Stevenson, Maddie Loftus, Allie Franks, and Chesney Stevens are the five starters for Dixie State. Second possession for Colorado School of Mines, no good. Dixie State quickly into the front court. Pavlica has it, top of the key. Trying to set up the offense. Yo-Yos tries to now penetrate, gets in the low block, spins and lays it up and in. London Pavlica with a fancy move, gets into the paint with a spin move and floats one up and in. Dixie State with a quick 5-0 lead off the fancy feet from London Pavlica. Ore Diggers on the other end. Entry pass shot, no good. That was Pinto. Dixie State with the rebound in their third possession of the afternoon, scoring on their first two. A three by Franks, and the floater the other end by London Pavlica. Backdoor pass to Stevens is cut off. Pavlica. Now Maddie Loftus, she'll try to penetrate, and she's blocked. And it'll be a whistle and a foul. It's going to be called against Liz Holter, her first foul. And you see there just trying to beat Maddie Loftus to the spot, but Loftus draws the contact. First team foul. One team foul on both ends. Dixie State now a 5-0 lead. 2 minutes gone by in the first quarter. London Pavlica, she penetrates with the left hand, tries to float one up. No, blocked. But there's going to be a whistle and some contact. Once again, going to call Liz Holter for a personal foul. Her second personal foul already. Not even 2 minutes, 10 seconds gone by. She'll have to go to the bench with 2 fouls. It'll send London Pavlica, a 54% free throw shooter, to the free throw line. As we mentioned, Dixie State coming off a tough loss last night, and free throws as we got a chance to get back to our second keys to the game, our Lonnie Boys Barbecue keys to the game. We mentioned contain Pinto as London Pavlica makes the first free throw. The other one, this Colorado School of Mines team, they are a great free throw shooting team. They shoot 80% as a team from the free throw line. They also get there 16 times a game, so they're shooting 16 free throws per game, and they're making them at an 80% clip. You've got to be able to defend without fouling. That's what they want to try to do. This team shoots a lot of threes, and they shoot a lot of shots in the paint. That's where they get the majority of their shots, is threes and from the paint. As on the other end, London Pavlica continues to lead this team for Dixie State as she lays another one up and in. She's got 6 early points, 2 buckets, and a couple of free throws. 9-0 lead for Dixie State, a tremendous start, exactly what they needed after a tough game last night against UC Colorado Springs. So to finish my point about the free throws, got to be able to defend without fouling and send this team to the free throw line. They're very aggressive, and that's what they want to do. As Courtney Stanton with a nice move, a fake, and drives baseline, and she puts in the first 2 points for Colorado School of Mines. It's 9-2, 6:45 remaining. London Pavlica with 6 early points. Comes off a screen from Allie Franks. Back to Franks now. She'll try a three-pointer. It's up and good. Allie Franks with 2 3-pointers to start this game, and this is exactly the start you hope for if you're Coach J.D. Gustin of this Dixie State women's basketball team. After a horrendous start where you just couldn't get anything to go last night against a team who was seemingly making just about everything, UC Colorado Springs, this is exactly the start you wanted if you're Dixie State. And on the other end, Courtney Stanton, she'll go to the free throw line after making that layup and getting fouled. And she's on the offense. She's been the offense for Colorado School of Mines early in this one. You see there, Courtney Stanton does a good job of getting on the offensive glass. That's another thing this Colorado School of Mines team does, as Stanton makes the free throw. She's got all 5 points for Colorado School of Mines. The Overtakers love to get on the rebound battle. Offensively, defensively, they work hard at it. You're going to notice that a lot tonight. They try to box out. They really try to put a lot of effort into rebounding, and they do a good job at it as Maddie Loftus tries a three-pointer and airballs it. Overtakers quickly the other way. Ball in the hands of Ashley Stevick. She gives to Stanton. Into the corner. A three-pointer by Van Sickle is no good. It's long. And the rebound is controlled by Dixie State. London Pavlica nearly had the ball stripped. Now she'll give to Kesley Stevenson, who will try a three. No good, too strong. And the long rebound will roll out of bounds and give it back to the Orediggers. Colorado School of Mines, like I mentioned, we talked about it a little bit last night after we saw that the Orediggers had beat the Griffins of Westminster, that maybe they're coming off a really good victory, and maybe they'll have a little bit of a letdown. And Dixie State, off of a bad loss, will hopefully be refocused and be able to play well against Colorado School of Mines. As a three-pointer by Ashley Stevick is no good, rebounded by London Pavlica. And so far, so good for Dixie State, a 12-5 lead. Nearly 5 minutes gone in the first quarter. It's a nice backdoor pass from Pavlica to Stevens, and she'll lay it up and in. 2 points now for Kesley Stevens. Ashley Stevick on the other end, she controls the offense for the Orediggers as she tries to dribble drive, and she'll be knocked. The foul called against Brianna Moyai. Just checked into the game for Dixie State. and we have our first media timeout. It's a 14-5 lead for Dixie State. A good start for the Trailblazers, and we'll take a timeout. 60 seconds and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
When Southern Utah thinks of home furnishings, they think of Boulevard Home. But when Boulevard Home thinks about home, Southern Utah comes to mind. In 1974, local pioneer descendant Tony Whitwer decided to start a furniture business. He decided to name it after Southern Utah's most famous street, St. George Boulevard. Even though Tony has retired, his family's legacy still lives in who we are, a company dedicated to one goal, making your house home. Boulevard Home. Home is who we are.
Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family. Offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 130 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in St. George or shop campingworld.com today.
And welcome back inside Burns Arena. Dixie State leading this one 14-5 after a good start, a 5 of 7 start from the field and 2 of 4 from downtown. Already 2 Mountain American three-pointers for Dixie State. They had a tough time from behind the arc last night against the Mountain Lions as Ashley Stefik misses the first free throw. Stefik, a 77% free throw shooter coming into today's game. She will get one more. Second one up, no good. Round the rim and out. Offensive rebound, though, controlled by Sammy Van Sickle. She goes right back up, and she'll be fouled. Maddie Loftus will be called for her first personal foul. Already three team fouls for Dixie State in the corner. One more foul to give before Colorado School of Mines will be in the bonus for the rest of the period. Van Sickle's first free throw is good. She's a 79% free throw shooter. She gets one more. Flick of the wrist, and it's good. 2 points now for Sammy Van Sickle. The lead has been trimmed to 7, 14-7. 4:50 to go in the first period of play. London Pavliga to Moyai and Franks. Top of the key. Deshka Olsen just checked into the ball game. Pavliga controls. Left wing, Deshka Olsen, she gets an open look for three, and she'll clang it hard off the back iron. Rebound controlled by Stefik. She pushes quickly into the front court and now backs things out to set up the offense for Colorado School of Mines. Gives to Stanton, low block around the perimeter. Now that's Van Sickle. She'll try a three, no good. Rebound to Pavlica, and an over-the-back call going to be called against Mikhail Grant. Just checked into the game for Colorado School of Mines, replacing Liz Holter, who had 2 early fouls to begin the period. Dixie State, mentioned earlier, got to be able to defend without fouling. Already for Colorado School of Mines, they've gone to the free throw line 5 times already in this first period. And I mentioned they average 16 free throw attempts per game and make those at an 80% clip, and they're 3 of 5 already tonight. Got to be able to defend without fouling. We've seen them be active on the offensive glass as well. That's contributed to some of those free throws as well. On the other end, Allie Franks has it stolen away. Tried to go back door with Brianna Moyai. And Colorado School of Mines controls now. Stefik in the wing to Pinto. Haven't heard her name a lot so far. Sammy Van Sickle, she'll try to three, and no good. A long outlet pass was thrown down and kind of thrown in between 2 Dixie State players. Allie Franks and Deshka Olsen were both there, but neither one was able to grab that one. And on the other end, Courtney Stanton, she'll lay that one up and in. She's been the only really offensive threat so far in this game. She averages 11 points per game, so she's known to be able to put the ball in the basket, but Trailblazers got to try to do a better job on hers. Allie Franks goes back door, and London Pavliga finds her. Pavliga, as we know, a tremendous passer. Pavliga averages 3.4 assists per game. And she finds Allie Franks there for the easy deuce. On the other end, Sammy Van Sickle. Good defense down there low by Brianna Moiai and Dixie State. Resets. Now to Moiai, into the corner, Deshka Olsen. She's got an open look for three, and she knocks it in. Another Mountain America three-pointer from Deshka Olsen. And the Trailblazers start out shooting 50% from downtown, 3 of 6 early on in this first period. If they're hitting those three-pointers, they were not doing that last night. If they are hitting them tonight, they're going to be a tough team to beat if they're hitting them at a rate of 50%, especially tonight. School Mines on the other end. Stefik, she'll give to Hammond. Into the corner now, that's Stanton. She'll try a long three-pointer, no good. Rebound brought down by Deshka Olsen. Pavlica now into the front court. 6 early points for London Pavlica. She gives to Franks, trying to find Moiai down low. Tip nearly stolen away. Into the corner now, Kesley Stevens thought about a three, gives it back to Pavlica into that right corner. Dribble, she gets into the paint, tries to go back door with Brianna Moiai, and it was tipped last touched by Dixie State. It'll go out of bounds off the Trailblazers, and they'll give it back to Colorado School Mines. You see here, just maybe a little bit of a hard, unexpected pass there and kind of a tight window. London Pavlica try to force that one into. Trailblazers struggled last night with turnovers, just 3 so far tonight. They had 8 in the first period, the first really 5 minutes of the first period yesterday. As a 15-foot jumper is good by Courtney Stanton. She's off to a great start. She's got 9 of the first 11 points for Colorado School of Mines as Pavlica goes back door with Kesley Stevenson again. The layup is no good, but another good pass by Pavlica. Stevenson is fouled. She'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2. You see there another good pass by London Pavlica, and just missed the layup is Kesley Stevenson. First free throw is up and good. A 78% free throw shooter is Stevenson. That last foul called against Laura Lee Stock. For Colorado School of Mines. On the other end, Vandergraaf holds top of the key. Now she'll pull it out, trying to find a cutter. Good defense by Dixie State, and they turn the ball over. Deshka Olsen trying to track it down. We got a whistle, a stoppage of play, but that play was created by Brianna Gillen. A good defense in getting her hand in the passing lane. You just see Olsen trying to fight for that ball, but it's going to be fouled in the process by Heidi Hammond. That's Heidi Hammond's second personal foul. I should correct myself. Hammond was called for the previous foul as well. And that's 2 fouls already for Heidi Hammond as Deshka Olsen goes to the free throw line as the Trailblazers are in the bonus, and she makes the first. As you see here, good defense there by Brianna Gillen, and gets her hand in the passing lane there as Deshka Olsen tracks that one down, and she makes the second free throw. So 2 free throws for Deshka Olsen to extend the lead to 12 points, 23-11, 40 seconds remaining in this first period. 15-foot jumper by Pinto is no good. She's been held scoreless in this first quarter. Rebound to Pavlica, quickly ahead to Olsen. She'll turn a 10-foot stopping jumper, no good. Rebound to Pinto. She'll try to push the tempo. 25 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Stop, thought about a three behind the back dribble. She gets into the paint. Oh, and she lowers the shoulder. It's going to be an offensive foul. They're going to wipe off the basket. That one was pretty obvious. Danella Pinto. She was called for the offensive foul, and you see there just lowered that left shoulder right into Kesley Stevenson. A good defensive stance there by Stevenson, who gets a big high five from her teammates on the bench. You love to see those plays where you put your body on the line to benefit the team. And Kesley Stevenson draws an early foul on Danella Pinto. Dixie State the other end, 10 seconds to go. They'll play for one shot. They give it to Olsen. She'll try a three-pointer. No good. Rebound to Grad. She'll try to push it up court. 2 seconds with one, and not going to get a shot off, but they are going to call a foul right at the end of the period. Looked like Grant had kind of lost the ball as she was trying to go up. Now, whether that was because of a foul, you see Deshka Olsen there trying to draw a charge, but the ball had kind of come loose before the fact, and she'll be called for the foul, and it'll send Mikhail Grant to the free throw line. They are going to review this. I'm wondering if they're reviewing if she was in the restricted area or not, or they could also be reviewing to see if there was any time left on the clock to see if the foul occurred before the clock expired. So they are reviewing it right here in front of us on the scorer's table to see. Again, not sure exactly what they're reviewing, whether it has to do with the clock or whether it has to do with if she was in the restricted area. It looks like they're reviewing, looking to see if the foul came before there was time left on the clock, and clearly there was. You see there the foul occurred with time still on the clock, so the call will stand. It's going to be a foul on Deshka Olsen, her first. It'll send Mikhail Grant to the free throw line, a 42% free throw shooter. But a tough foul there right at the end of the period for Dixie State as they have gotten off to a great start. 23-11 on 3 of 7 shooting from downtown and 7 of 12 shooting overall. A perfect 6 for 6 from the free throw line. So we'll put 1.4 seconds up on the game clock, and Mikhail Grant will go to the free throw line for 2. First one is up and good, bottom of the net. She'll cut into the Dixie State lead ever so slightly. We get one more replay there. Looks like Pavlik trying to push her to the back and then may have gotten tripped, and that's why she lost the ball, but ultimately gets Deshka Olsen with the foul. And that will do it for the first period of play, but it was a good one for Dixie State. They own a 10-point lead, 23-13 against Colorado School of Mines. Let's take a 1-minute timeout and be back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
A lot can happen when your sidekick is a dog.
I got this.
That's why you use Zelle in the Mountain America app. It makes sending and receiving money fast and easy. So Kicker and I can keep the adventure going.
Zelle is now in the Mountain America mobile app. Quickly send and receive money from almost anyone with a bank account in the U.S.
Kicker, my sleeping bag.
I've got this.
All with the convenience and security of the Mountain America app.
Welcome back inside Burns Arena. Dixie State leading 23-13 after one period of play. Remember, they got outscored yesterday's game by a healthy margin, in fact, 24-6. As last night against 1-10 Colorado Springs was just a disastrous start and really a disastrous game overall for Dixie State. As London Pavliga tried to spin into the key, but she forgot the basketball. And she turns it over to Colorado School of Mines, who will control for their offense. Turnaround layup by Courtney Stanton is good, and once again, Courtney Stanton doing the damage for Colorado School of Mines early. She's already at 11 points as we go backdoor. Kesley Stevenson tries to find Allie Franks on a backdoor pass, and Franks is aggressive going to the basket. She'll be fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line for 2. Sammy Van Sickle being called for the foul, and a good call there as she gets her with the body from the backside. Allie Franks, a deep knee bend and a high arching shot is no good off front iron. Allie Franks, a 64% free throw shooter on the season. 8 early points for her tonight, a couple of threes and a couple of free throws. for Franks as she makes the second of 2. 9 points now for the senior from Redding, California. On the other end, it's Colorado School of Mines in the hands of Mikhail Grant. Left to right dribble, she gives to Stefik. Now to Van Sickle. Cross-court pass back to Grant, top of the key, guarded by London Pavlica. 7 to shoot on the shot clock. Back to Van Sickle. She'll try to get into the low block, and she's going to be called for an offensive foul as she plows over Allie Franks, and a couple of charges called against Colorado School of Mines in the early going here. But yeah, I mean, that's a good call. She's backing her down the entire way and then just turns and lowers the shoulder into Allie Franks, who stays her ground and draws the offensive foul. That'll be another foul on Sammy Van Sickle, her second. So some early foul trouble for some Colorado School of Mines players. Liz Holter with 2, Van Sickle with 2, and Heidi Hammond as well with 2. And Allie Franks, she'll put in 2 more for Dixie State. She was held relatively quiet last night against Colorado Springs. 3 points, I remember, if I remember correctly, already to 11, averaging 13.7 points per game on the season. Was averaging up over 15 points per game after the first handful of games of the season, but a couple of quiet scoring nights like last night brings her back down under 14 points per game. Would love to see a bounce-back performance from her tonight, and she's off to a good start with 11. Chesney Stevens was called for that last foul. That was her second personal foul. She'll have to sit on the bench now with 2 fouls. Pinto now. She'll give to Stanton. She lowers her shoulder, tries to go to the rim, but an offensive rebound by Grant and can't get the layup to go. As they're running their offense right now through Courtney Stanton, they must have noticed something against Dixie State that they can exploit down low. Right now, Dixie State is playing small. They do not have, as we mentioned, Chesney Stevens went to the bench with 2 fouls. Brianna Moyati right now is playing center for them. She stands at just 5'10", and Courtney Stanton right now is being their offense at 6'2". They're trying to go down low to get Stanton involved in the offense as Mikhail Grant misses the first free throw, and she'll miss the second one as well. Rebound to Maddie Loftus. Dixie State into the front court now. A 3-pointer by Kesley Stevenson is put in. Another Mountain America 3-pointer by Kesley Stevenson. And the Trailblazers now lead by a game-high 13 points, 29 to 16. Mikhail Grant now hangs on a pivot on the right wing. Now dumps it down low to Stanton, who faces the basket. Drives baseline, working on Moyati. Corner pass to Stefik, no good. And a good box out there by Moyati, but she can't track the can't track the rebound down, and they give it back to Stefik. But her follow-up layup is no good, and Moyati clears for Dixie State. Stevenson now, top of the key. Greenwood, Stevenson and Moyati. Left elbow, trying to find a cutter, looking for Greenwood going back door. Can't find her. Stevenson now tries to jump stop and on the right wing, and she's going to be called for an offensive foul as she mowed over the Colorado School of Mines defender. And a second personal foul on Kesley Stevenson, and that's another good call as well. And we saw a lot of these today so far, and I mean they've all been the right call in my opinion. You know, we've seen a couple of offensive calls called on the Colorado School of Mines players. That one on Dixie State. Again, I think all 3 of them we've had so far have been the correct call as the Orediggers take over, trailing by 13. 6:57 to go in the second quarter of play. Stanton, she'll face up. She'll try the 16-foot jumper, and she'll put it in. Courtney Stanton is having herself a first half with 13 points to lead all scorers right now for the Orediggers. Pavlica now. And Moyati goes backdoor with Allie Franks, and she was fouled from the backside. That play has been working all the game for Dixie State. They haven't always scored on it, but they have been aggressive, and they've been able to draw fouls and get to the free throw line. That one's going to be called on Courtney Stanton, her first personal foul. And it'll send Allie Franks to the free throw line where she just missed a pair, just split a pair. First one is good for Allie Franks. And she's up to 12 points. Whistle and a stoppage of play as Franks was getting set to take the free throw, and Coach Gustin's talking with one of the officials now, a couple officials now getting together, not sure. Must have been a substitution. Greenwood was on the floor. Greenwood was set to check in. I guess they're telling her now that she's not allowed to check in. New rule this year, can't check in between free throws. You have to check in either before the first free throw if you get your player there to the check-in spot before the first free throw, or after the second free throw if it's made. You can no longer check in between free throws anymore. It's a new rule they've implemented this season. So Ashley Greenwood will be sent back to the scorer's table. Maddie Loftus will have to stay on the floor. And that's going to result in a technical foul. So technical foul has been called against Colorado School of Mines. Correct. Check that. A technical foul has been called on Dixie State for that substitution mishap. So Franks takes her second free throw with an empty lane. She makes it, and now here's the technical free throw by Pinto, and she puts it in. That's her first point of the game. Denala Pinto, an 18 point per game scorer for Colorado School of Mines, and a 92% free throw shooter, makes both of them. And that's the technical foul. So a little bit of house cleaning. The free throw you saw from Allie Franks was the second of the personal foul that she drew on the previous play. The technical foul then was assessed for Dixie State on the substitution error, which resulted in Denali Pinto going to the line for 2 free throws. And now after the technical foul, the ball is given back to Colorado School of Mines. First time we've seen that come into play this season. If you sub in between free throws, it is a technical foul. And Dixie State falls victim to it there as they give it back down to Sutton. And she's going to be fouled as she made a nice pump fake move and got Allie Franks off her feet. It'll send Courtney Stanton, back to the free throw line. She's got 13 points for Colorado School of Mines, a 91% free throw shooter. First free throw is up, hard off back iron, and a rare miss from Courtney Stanton. As you see, a good pump fake move there, and gets Allie Franks off her feet, and then tries to absorb the contact and float it up and in, but can't get it to go, and her second free throw is good. So she makes 1 out of 2. You'll take that if you're Dixie State, considering she's a 91% free throw shooter. Once again, I mentioned the Ore Diggers love to get to the free throw line. They've already taken 13 free throws. They average 16 free throws a game, and they are almost to that mark, and we're not even through a quarter and a half yet. They love to get to the free throw line, and they shoot an 80% as a team from 3 as Deshka Olsen puts in another Mountain America three-pointer. And Olsen now has 5 points for Dixie State. They are now 5 of 9 from downtown to start this game. The complete opposite of what they were yesterday, and a good defensive play there by Brianna Moiai as she steps in to cut off the path of Pinto. Now going the other way, Pinto, because she was behind the play, she's getting a nice, easy layup for 2. And she has her first bucket of the game and her 4th point. London Pavliga now controls for Dixie State. Gives to Brianna Gillen. Ashley Greenwood controls left elbow. Goes to Pavliga, who thought about a 3. Now she'll drive. Lost it, though. Might have been tipped by Michaela Grant. And the Ore Diggers take that one away from Dixie State. Stefik now. She gives into the corner. Tries a 3-pointer. That was Liz Holzer, and it looked like it might have been either tipped or was just short. Either way, it'll stay Ordigger basketball. As you see, a good heads-up play there by Pinto as she turns and throws it off the Dixie State player to retain the possession for the Ordiggers. We've reached the under 5-minute media timeout. We'll take it. 60 seconds and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
There is a place where looking out means looking in, where an impression lasting only a few seconds will be imprinted on a life forever, where courage is forged and innocence rediscovered, where remembering is rewarding and forgetting unforgettable. There is a place where truth is felt and where seeing is believing. There is a place.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this. I need a one dance. And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Welcome back inside Burns Arena. Dixie State leading this one 34-23. The Trailblazers started this game at a 10 of 15 shooting and 5 of 9 from downtown and 9 of 10 from the free throw line. So they've been getting there pretty often, and they've been making their free throws. Colorado School of Mines struggling offensively right now. 7 of 27 from the field, 0 of 7 from downtown. Have not made a three-pointer so far, but it's been Courtney Stanton who draws a foul, who's been carrying the offense for Colorado School of Mines. 14 points, 6 of 11 shooting, 2 of 3 from the free throw line. As you see, nice post move there, working on Brianna Moyai, who fouls her with the body down low. And Stanton will go back to the free throw line. Moyai now going to have to check out, as that's her second foul. A couple of people in free throw trouble or foul trouble on both ends. Moyai has 2, Stevens has 2, Stevenson has 2, and for Colorado School of Mines, Liz Holzer, Sammy Van Sickle, and Heidi Hammond all have 2. As Stanton makes both free throws, she's got 16 points. I'll have to figure out on the next break what her season high is, because she averages 11 points per game and got 16 here in the first half against Dixie State. 34-25 lead for the Trailblazers. Gillen working on Holzer, knowing that she's got 2 fouls, trying to go right at her. But a good defense there without fouling by Holzer. Pavliga, she gets into the lane, and she tries to lay it up, can't do it. She was working on the lengthy Denali Pinto, 6-foot guard. As Liz Holzer on the other end, a nice spin move. And she lays that one up and in, and the lead is now down to 7. Trailblazers once led by 13. And they now only hold a 7-point lead. Pavliga on the other end. Gives to Deshka Olsen. Cut off by Grant, back to Pavliga. She'll kick to Kesley Stevenson. She's got space for 3. She'll try one, no good off back iron, but Deshka Olsen working hard, and looks like she's going to be the beneficiary of a foul call. Indeed she will. Mikhail Grant going to be called for her second personal foul, as Deshka Olsen working hard, and Mikhail Grant trying to keep her off the offensive glass. And Deshka Olsen draws the foul on Grant. So Dixie State will get the ball back. The play coming in from the sideline now as Lennon Pavliga will trigger the inbounds for Dixie State. Got a box setting, a double screen. Maddie Loftus, but she gets it into Michaela Johnson, who was just too far underneath the basket. Good defense by Courtney Stanton, who forced her underneath the basket and into a bad shot. On the other end, Pinto, she tries to drive. Looked like she might have traveled, and she did. She put that left foot down as her pivot foot, and then came back, and as she went to elevate, she switched her pivot foot to her right foot, and then she was called for the travel. Trailblazers have done a good job on her so far, just 4 points. It's been Courtney Stanton, though, that has been doing the damage for Colorado School of Mines. Pavlica now to Olson, right elbow. She tries to give it to Maddie Loftus. She's open for three, and she'll knock it in. Another Mountain America three-pointer from Maddie Loftus, and she puts in her first 3 points of the game. And Dixie State continues with the good shooting from downtown, now 6 of 11 from the three-point land. Pinto on the other end, though, she's so good at getting her shot. And like I said, she's lengthy, a 6-foot guard. Typically for Dixie State, I mean, you see your guard line 5'7" and 5'11", a 6-foot guard, a very lengthy and athletic player for Colorado School of Mines. And one of the reasons why she's one of the top scorers in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. Brianna Gillen controls for Dixie State. And she tries to pull it back now, being guarded by Courtney Stanton. A mismatch here. Brianna Gillen tries to get behind her, but a good defensive play there by Stanton, who knocks the ball loose and gets it going the other way for Colorado School of Mines. And an easy deuce on the other end by Liz Holter. That play was all created by Courtney Stanton getting a hand, knocking that ball loose as the Trailblazers turn it over on the other end. An uncharacteristic turnover for Dixie State. Just a miscommunication on that one. Already 9 turnovers for the Trailblazers, as that one goes sailing out of bounds. It's just a 6-point lead for Dixie State, a 37-31 lead. Courtney Stanton working on Brianna Moyai. Good defense, trying to force her to go baseline, and gets rid of the ball to Pinto. Picks up her dribble now. She'll try to spin out of it. Can't get it to go. Good defense there by Kesley Stevenson. She grabs the rebound, and quickly into the front court is Dixie State. And London Pavlica controls for the Trailblazers. Kesley Stevenson, she'll try a three-pointer. No good. Too strong. Off back iron. The rebound was controlled by Ashley Stefik, but she stepped out of bounds on the end line as London Pavlica was in hot pursuit to try to crash the offensive glass, which forced Stefik to step on the end line there. And a great camera view from our CEC TV crew, getting that right foot stepping on the line. And Dixie State will retain possession. Referee came over and said something to the scores table. Not sure if it was a shot clock error or something, but the shot clock is at 30 as London Pavlica does get it into Kesley Stevenson. Back to Pavlica now. Left-hand dribble now, picks it up, trying to find Maddie Loftus on the left wing. She does. Back to Pavlica, top of the key. Gillen now, right wing. Tries to get to the bucket. Cut off. Pavlica, she'll spin, she'll get to the lane, but she's going to be fouled. London Pavlica loves to go to her right and spins back to her left, and she can create separation. You see the separation that she creates from her defender, Ashley Stefik. And it rewards her with the trip to the free throw line. Once again, free throws brought to you by Vintage at Canyonlands. First free throw by London Pavlica is good. She's got 7 points. London Pavlica filling up the stat sheet once again, 7 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds in the early going as she misses the first free throw. So we'll put her officially in the first half on triple-double watch with 7, 6, and 4. Pinto on the other end, 19-foot jumper by Stanton is good. I mean, she's not typically known for being a deep shooter, a 25% three-point shooter, but that one with a toe on the line was a 19-foot two-pointer, but she gets it to go, and she's got 18 points for Dixie State. Excuse me, for Colorado School of Mines. Wish she had 18 points for Dixie State. But on the other end, it's Pavlica to Stevenson. Now to Loftus. Back to Pavlica. Working on her defender, and she'll try to step back. Thought about a three now. Entries to Brianna Moyai, and she can't get the left-hand layup to go. Off back iron. Liz Holter now brings it in the front court for Colorado School of Mines. 25 seconds to go, just a 5-point Dixie State lead. Holter, a nice left-right dribble, and she gets to the lane, and she'll lay it up and in. Now just a 3-point lead for Dixie State. 10 seconds to go in the opening half. Pavlica gonna hold for the last shot for Dixie State. He comes off a screen from Moiai, and a nice screen and roll, and Moiai lost it out of bounds. Might have been tipped out of bounds. Looks like Dixie State's going to hold for the final shot. They are. So it was last touched by an Ordigger defender. But a good screen and roll by Pavlik and Moiai as Stevenson gets it into the corner. It's going to be tipped. Final last second shot is going to be no good as it was blocked. Kesley Stevenson was unable to get the free throw to go, but a pretty good start to this game. If you're Dixie State, you led at one point by 13. You only now lead by 3. The Colorado School of Mines team did a good job in the second quarter to kind of cut into that deficit, and they played a lot better, starting hitting a few more of their shots. They were shooting 27% earlier in the quarter, or earlier in the half, excuse me. Now they're now up to 36%. They're still 0 of 7 from three-point range, which is a little bit uncharacteristic for this team, as they love to get the majority of their shots from the painted area and from 3. And they are 0 of 7 right now, but 11 of 15 from the free throw line has really kept them in this game. I mentioned earlier, you got to try to defend this team without putting them on the free throw line. They get to the free throw line very often, and they're shooting at an 80% clip once they get there. So Dixie State going to have to do a bit better job in the second half of keeping them off the free throw line and trying to contain Courtney Stanton, who's got 18 first half points for Colorado School of Mines. But it is halftime. Let's take a break. We're going to come back and we'll give you a few stats. We'll give you a few first half highlights and a few more stats in our Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime show. And we'll talk a little bit about what Dixie State needs to do in the second half of action if they want to come out with a victory here against Colorado School of Mines. So let's take the 5-minute halftime break. Let's do 5-minute halftime timeout. We'll come back with the Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report, give you a few stats and highlights of the first half as we get you set for second half action. 5 minutes and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West, set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this. I need a one dance. And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out?
Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
You know, we may have started out small, but we were great. Families and fans rallied behind their team. The community cared, and everyone showed up to cheer. Now, we're bigger than ever. Dixie State is going to Division I.
Here we go in transition, and he throws it down with one hand.
But at the end of the day, it's the community and fans that make us great. Whether you give $5 or 1,000, every dollar, every seat in the stands, every one of you can help blaze our trail to Division I athletics, because this is our team.
for Courtney Stanton, the 6'2" junior center from Colorado Springs, Colorado. You know, the name we talked about early on in the first half, and especially in the short little pregame show we had, was Denali Pinto, who has 6 points at the half, but she averages 18 points per game. She was by far the leading scorer for this Colorado School of Mines team at 18 points per game, but it's really been Courtney Stanton who has been carrying the offensive load for Colorado School of Mines. And, you know, I mentioned earlier in the game, they must have been able to see that at the 6'2" frame that Courtney Stanton has. She's a tall girl. She's got good size to her, that she would have an advantage down low against Dixie State, who Chesney Stevenson does stand 6'1", but has not been able to play a lot in this first half with 2 fouls, and she's not been able to contain Courtney Stanton as well. But once again, we've also seen Stanton kind of step out, and she's made some 15 and 19-foot jump shots as well. So she's not just a low post player as we've seen tonight. I mean, she has done a lot of work on the low block and inside the restricted area against some smaller defenders like Brianna Moiai or maybe even Chesney Stevens at times. With the 2 fouls, she had to sit for most of the first half, but still having success there on the low block, but has also had some success, again, like I mentioned, stepping out and taking some mid-range jumpers. And she hit a few of those, and 18 points in the first half was really what the Colorado School of Mines team needed, with the scoring that they were not getting from Denali Pinto as well as Sammy Van Sickle. Van Sickle, she averages 11.5 points per game. She had just 2 in that first half. So, a lot of the scoring that they usually depend on between Van Sickle and Pinto were not there. They just set 8 points between 2 of them. They usually bring in about 30 per game, and just 8 for them in the first half. But Courtney Stanton did all the scoring they needed in that first half. For Colorado School of Mines, like we mentioned, they're coming in off of a big victory. They shoot 36% from the field, so not a super high percentage, but they got to the free throw line a ton. 15 attempts, along 11 makes for Colorado School of Mines. I mentioned before, they are a 80% free throw shooter as a team, so they get to the free throw line about 16 times per game, and they make them at an 80% clip, and they've already got there 15 times tonight. If they get there more tonight, they're going to put Dixie State in a tough situation. The Trailblazers have to do better with not fouling defensively and putting them on the free throw line to give them some easy looks. Well, that will do it for your Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report. Let's actually, before we go, if we do have some first half highlights, that we can run those right now. If we do have some first half highlights, I think we have just a few highlights of the first half. If we can run those right now. Maybe don't have time to do that. Maybe we won't have time to run those highlights right now. So let's close things out for the Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report. Let's take a 2-minute timeout, and we'll be back in 2 minutes on the Trailblazer Basketball Network. Welcome back inside Burns Arena. Second half action on the way as we finish up the first half of play, and Dixie State owns a 38-35 lead for the Trailblazers as they look to get their 9th win of the season against Colorado School of Mines. It'll be the Ore Diggers to get the first possession of the second half, and we are underway in second half action. Dixie State a 38-35 lead, and Pinto quickly on the first possession tries to be aggressive. She tries to drive baseline, and she's cut off. It'll be last touch by Dixie State. However, in Colorado School of Mines will retain possession. Stefik, she'll give to Holter on the right wing, trying to run pick and roll with Van Sickle. Now back to her, thought about a three. Van Sickle, a 41% three-point shooter on the season. And Pinto, however, she'll lay in the first deuce of the second half, and she's now got 8 points. We'd love to see the Trailblazers contain her and not let her get going in this second half. We know the damage Courtney Stanton did in the first half. Don't want to get a two-headed monster going. As a good pass from London Pavliga. Down low to Chesney Stevens, and she puts in her first deuce of the contest. Once again, remind you, London Pavliga on triple-double watch. 7 points. 7 points, now 7 assists, and 4 rebounds for London Pavliga as Courtney Stanton puts one up and in, and she's now got 20 for Colorado School of Mines. Pavliga runs pick and roll with Chesney Stevenson. She'll try a three-pointer. Bang! London Pavliga with another 7-0. She with another Mountain America three-pointer, and now she's in double figures with 10. A couple of assists away from a double-double as she's got 10 points, 7 assists, and 4 rebounds. London Pavliga now guarding Stefik close, who she'll try a three-pointer. Offensive rebound by Van Sickle. She had 4 of those in the first half, and she's working hard for another one. But her follow-up layup is no good as London Pavliga controls for Dixie State and sets up the offense, barking out orders for the Trailblazers. She gives to Maddie Loftus, tries to go backdoor with Allie Franks, who tries to go up, and she'll be fouled from the backside by Sammy Van Sickle. That's big for Dixie State, her 3rd personal foul. As they went to this early a lot in that first half, that first quarter especially. They like to go backdoor, and they utilize this backdoor play a lot. They didn't often score on it. They didn't often get easy layups, but what it did result in them doing is getting to the free throw line often, and that really kept them in control in the driver's seat in that first half. However, Allie Franks can't get the first free throw to go, and she will get one more for Dixie State. 5'10" senior guard from Redding, California. Allie Franks, a deep knee bend, a flick of the wrist. That one rolls out. And the offensive rebound is grabbed by Kesley Stevenson. Back to Maddie Loftus for 3. No, too strong off back iron. Once again, you see the effort Colorado School of Mines puts in rebounding. Liz Holzer holding her block out for a few seconds as she was able to control her defender for the rebound there. Kesley Stevenson will be whistled for that foul as she bumped Denali Pinto for her 3rd personal foul. Pinto now back to the free throw line, where she has made a few trips so far in this game. In fact, Pinto 3 of 3 now from the free throw line. Perfect as she hit the technical free throws earlier in the game. And this one is up and good as well. So 10 points now for Denali Pinto as she connects on a pair of free throws for Colorado School of Mines. And the Dixie State lead has been trimmed down to 2, 43-41. Pavliga gives to Allie Franks, who tried to go backdoor with Chesney Stevens but can't find her. Back to Franks, top of the key to Stevens, left elbow. Thought she might have got fouled by Courtney Stanton on the reach, but no call. Maddie Loftus, now she'll get called for the offensive foul as she tried to spin away from contact. Liz Holzer got in the way, and I'm not sure I love this call. I'll have to see it again on replay. And I guess that's not a bad call. Liz Holzer was there. There was more contact than I originally thought. I didn't think Maddie Loftus hit her as hard as she actually did, but the replay, once again, shows a good call there, as we've seen a few of those been called so far today. And Maddie Loftus on the other end gets the tie-up call against Vandergraaf, and the possession arrow favors Dixie State. So a good job there, as Maddie Loftus was just patient enough to wait for Vandergraaf to spin away from Allie Franks, who was the defender on the backside. She spun right into Loftus, and at that point she tied him up and got the possession arrow back in favor of Dixie State. Now into the corner is London Pavliga. She dribbles and passes down low to Chesney Stevens, who can't get the layup to go, working on the taller defender, Courtney Stanton. On the other end, Colorado School Mines. Right wing. And now backing it out is Holzer. She gives to Pinto. Resets the offense, and she'll shoot a three-pointer. No good, too strong off back iron, and a good box out by Allie Franks as Chesney Stevens flies in for the rebound. Pavliga looking to push the tempo now. She'll pull it back. Gives to Stevens, a dribble handoff with Pavliga. Thought about a three, now she'll try to drive, and they say she picked up her pivot foot. And she'll be whistled for the travel. London Pavliga tried to penetrate and get past her defender, but was called for a travel. Tough to see from that angle. Pavliga doesn't love it. They've put an emphasis on those type of plays this season. If you move your pivot foot before you put the ball on the ground, that they're really emphasizing that this season, as Courtney Stanton can't connect on a long jumper. Dixie State into the front court now, a 43-41 lead. 5:55 to go in the third quarter. Loftus now to Kesley Stevenson, who she'll drive. She gets into the lane, and she's bumped and fouled. Going to be called on Ashley Stefik, her first personal foul. Second team foul of the quarter against Colorado School Mines. You see there, Stefik just gets that right hand and bumps Kesley Stevenson on the drive. London Pavliga to trigger the inbounds pass. A wide pass nearly thrown away, but saved by Maddie Loftus. Back to Allie Franks. She tries to penetrate. 18-foot floating jumper and no good. A little 8-foot floater from Allie Franks. Rims off back iron. And goes into the hands of Pinto. Picks up her dribble now to Holzer. And she'll back it up onto the Dixie State logo. Runs screen roll with Stanton. Trailblazers right now playing good defense. 5 to shoot. That one goes hard off back iron. Ball pops like a cork. And controlled by Colorado School of Mines. And a three-pointer by Pinto is no good. But again, Colorado School of Mines comes with offensive rebound. And they'll get a timeout called. Once again, I mentioned Colorado School of Mines works hard on the offensive and defensive glass, and they come up with the offensive rebound there. It's going to be extended to a media timeout. Timeout's being brought to you by Dairy Queen. We'll keep it right here for this first media timeout and talk a little bit more about the offense, about the offensive rebounds for Colorado School of Mines. They did a very good job of rebounding in that first half, and right now they've got a handful of offensive rebounds. In fact, 12 offensive rebounds compared to just 13 defensive rebounds. So almost as many offensive rebounds as defensive rebounds in this game, and they've been working very hard both offensively and defensively to get the rebounds, and they are out rebounding Dixie State right now 25 to 21, and that's been a big factor, especially on the offensive glass. Right now out rebounding 12 to 3 on the offensive glass is Colorado School of Mines, and that's given them a handful of second half points. And as of last count, which was just at halftime, Trailblazers had given up 16 points in the paint and 10 points on second chance points. That number is surely higher now as we've played a few minutes into halftime, into the third quarter. Those numbers were from halftime, but still 10 second chance points at halftime, and certainly a few more right now as we get 12 points. So we see that updated number just barely updated on our screen here. 12 second chance points for Colorado School of Mines off 12 offensive rebounds. Courtney Stanton, good defense there by Chesney Stevens. She's done a better job defending in the second half. Up and under layup. It's no good by Holzer. The Trailblazers get the defensive rebound. And we'll try to set up shop now offensively in their half. Allie Franks, she'll try to penetrate going against Stanton, and she'll be bumped and fouled. And that's Stanton's second personal foul as Allie Franks tried to penetrate against Stanton, who just tried to step out there, and you see the bump there. And once again, Stanton, a 6'2" frame, going against Allie Franks, the 5'10" junior, and she draws the foul. Now we're at the under 5-minute media timeout. This timeout brought to you by Dairy Queen. We will take this one, however, so we'll be back in 60 seconds on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
Welcome back inside Burns Arena. Trailblazers holding on to a 2-point lead, 43-41, 4:41 to go in this third quarter as the Trailblazers inbound it. And it's tapped away immediately by Colorado School Mines. And Dixie State will have to trigger from in front of their own bench into that kind of corner area. They get it into Allie Franks. And then back to London Pavica to set up the offense for the Trailblazers. Around the perimeter to Franks. Gives to Kesley Stevenson on the low block. She tries to go up and under her defender. No good, but an offensive rebound by Allie Franks, who she'll try to go underneath the basket, and she gets that one to go. A good play by Allie Franks, who stayed with that one, and she's now got 15 points, surpassing her season average of 13.7 points per game. And a 4-point lead for the Trailblazers, 45-41. Vandergraaf on the other end, and she's going to be called for 3 seconds in the lane. Took too long to make her move, and she's called for the turnover. Dixie State, beneficiary of a 3 seconds in the lane call. As Allie Franks finds Kesley Stevenson on the back door, but pass just was a little bit too far, and now Allie Franks draws another foul. This one going to be called on Mikhail Grant, her third. Fourth team foul for Colorado School of Mines. The Trailblazers in the bonus the rest of the way. That's the third foul on Mikhail Grant, and she'll have to sit with 3 personal fouls. Pavica triggers the inbounds pass. She gives to Allie Franks, who thought about a 15-foot jumper, and then she tried to back it out and lost the ball out of bounds. An uncharacteristic, an unforced error, in fact, by Allie Franks. Just tried to take a step back and lost the ball out of bounds, and they'll give it back to the Orediggers. Colorado School of Mines trailing by 4. Ball in the hands of Pinto. She'll try a 15-foot pull-up jumper, and another offensive rebound by Colorado School of Mines. Sound like a broken record at this point, as a 15-foot jumper by Hammond is no good, and once again, Colorado School of Mines working hard on the offensive glass, and they will get another possession as the Trailblazers knocked that one out of bounds. Brianna Moyati and Deshka Olsen checking back in for Dixie State. Loftus and Chesney Stevens come out. Ashley Stefik triggers the inbound. She gives to Pinto, and she's fouled on a jump shot, and Kesley Stevenson can't believe it. Stevenson already walking to the bench. She knows she's coming there with 4 personal fouls and an 18-foot jump shot, and I don't agree with that one at all. Say they They say she invaded the landing space of Pinto, and I know that that's an emphasis this season, but it didn't look like there was any contact as Pinto came down from the jump shot. But they give her the 2 free throws and send a 92% free throw shooter back to the line. As you see here, Stevenson trailing from the backside. No contact there. And I'm not sure where the contact is. Maybe she gets her on the elbow there with the right hand. But to me, it looked like it was pretty clean from Kesley Stevenson. Thought it was a good contest by the 5'11 junior guard from Willard, Utah. But she will have to sit now with 4 personal fouls. She'll have to sit for the majority of the rest of this game. Ashley Greenwood nearly turns it over as she tries to find Moyati. Now London Pavlica controls for Dixie State. She tries to penetrate. She'll give it to Deshka Olsen, who thought about a 3. Now back to Franks, who she'll take a 3. No good, too strong. And ball is still loose. London Pavlica's there trying to grab it for Dixie State. Heidi Hammond was there as well. A couple of bodies were there on the floor fighting for it. It's going to be a loose ball tie-up, and the possession arrow favors Colorado School of Mines. Deshka Olsen was there. Denali Pinto was there. Four bodies there on the floor right near the ball. But once again, Colorado School of Mines working hard on the glass. Pinto now. She'll try a step-back three-pointer. Bang. Denali Pinto has gotten going in this second half, had 6 points at halftime, now has 15. Her season average is 18 points. She's just a 31% three-point shooter, but she can make that shot. So two Colorado School of Mines players with 15 points or more. Pinto and Courtney Stanton as London Pavlica tries to penetrate. Oh, and nice jump stop, and a fading jumper is no good. Oh, what a beautiful play by London Pavlica, but just too strong on the shot. On the other end now, as Colorado School of Mines has actually taken their first lead of the game, 46-45. And a long rebound is going to be favored for Dixie State. As London Pavlica was there, looked like she may have been fouled from the backside. In fact, they are going to call a foul against Liz Holzer. And see, London Pavlica was there. Liz Holzer just kind of fell on the ground and took out the legs of Pavlica. That's going to send London Pavlica to the free throw line as a loose ball foul. And the Orediggers are over the limit. I mentioned earlier the first lead of the game for Colorado School of Mines off the three-pointer by Denali Pinto. London Pavlica, she puts in her first free throw. She's got 11 for Dixie State, and we are tied 46-46. 2:04 to go. Pavlica will get one more, and she rolls it off front iron and off. No good for London Pavlica, a 54% free throw shooter on the season. Now in the hands of Pinto, she's feeling it in the second half. Got to get the ball out of her hands. Holzer tries to drive baseline and lay it up. No, but another offensive rebound. She gets her own miss. Holzer now, angle right, dribbling with the left hand. Left to right dribble, tries to penetrate. She gets it back for a three-pointer, and it is good by Heidi Hammond. Her first points of the game is a three-pointer, and Colorado School of Mines now leads by 3. How does Dixie State respond? They've led the entire game. Save it for the last few minutes. Deshka Olsen, she'll try a three-pointer. Bang! Another Mountain America three-pointer by Deshka Olsen. She's got 8 points, and she has had 3 threes go down for her tonight. And I mean, she has 9 points for Dixie State. A three-pointer on the other end by Stefik is no good, and a big rebound by London Pavlica, and then a tie-up, which will favor Dixie State. But London Pavlica flew in there to get that rebound, as she so often does. And London Pavlica grabs the rebound and controls for Dixie State. And she grabbed the rebound there and then was tied up by Heidi Hammond. And the Trailblazers will get the ball back. Should know Deshka Olsen's career high is 14 points. She scored 14 against Black Hills State. And she is nearing that tonight with 9 points and 3 threes. Back to Olsen. She'll try another three-pointer. This one's good. Back-to-back three-pointers by Deshka Olsen. She's got 12. Now she's got 14 points. Excuse me. Now she's tied her career high. I missed a point earlier. She now has 14 points. That ties a career high and puts Dixie State back on top, 52-49. 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Holzer on the other end, and she answers with a three. Back-to-back three-pointers on both ends for Colorado School of Mines as Liz Holzer puts in a three-pointer. She's got 7 points, and we're tied 52-52. Paviga with three, with two, gives to Allie Franks. She'll try an 18-foot jumper at the buzzer. No! Allie Franks nearly got that 18-foot jumper to go at the buzzer, and we head to the fourth quarter tied at 52. It's been a barn burner inside Burns Arena, and we should have more action going into the fourth quarter, 52-52. Let's take a 60-second break and come back with fourth quarter action on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
No, I'm not busy right now. Yeah, I can talk.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the second floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Thanks.
Welcome back inside Burns Arena as we get set to finish this one off of fourth quarter action. Trailblazers and Colorado School of Mines locked at 52 as Dixie State led by as much as 13 earlier on in the game. That lead has evaporated for Dixie State as they now are in a fist fight with Colorado School of Mines, 52-52. First possession, and that's going to be called on Colorado School of Mines. As Denali Pinto is working on Kesley Stevenson, and that's going to be her fifth personal foul. And you know, Pinto just goes into the contact, and Coach Gustin is arguing that Kesley Stevenson is straight up, and I don't disagree. Kesley Stevenson was straight up, and Pinto kind of just initiated the contact. So either way, it'll result in 2 free throws from Pinto. And once again, a 92% free throw shooter goes to the line for 2 shots, and that's going to be critical. I mean, down the stretch, if Pinto can get to the free throw line, she's already shot 4 for 4 in this game today, and she gets a couple more free throws there as well as you get one more look at it. And Kelly Stevenson's got a nice gripe. I mean, she's sitting there straight up and is not initiating the contact as Pinto knocks in her second free throw. She's now got 17 points, one off her season average of 18. Paviga on the other end. We put her on triple-double watch earlier. She's got 11 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, so certainly possible within range of notching her first career triple-double. London Paviga on the other end, and this one's going to be blocked out of bounds as she tried to penetrate, got to the low block. And knocked out of bounds by Ashley Stefik, who played good defense there on that possession. Paviga triggers the inbounds, gives to Stevens. Now back to Paviga. She controls 3 to shoot for Dixie State. She's got to force up a 3, and that one's going to be blocked, and it's going to result in a shot clock violation. Not great clock management there from Dixie State, not knowing that the shot clock was waning. So 54-52 lead for Colorado School of Mines with 9:15 to go in this fourth quarter. Pinto being guarded by Stevens. He gets to the low block. Maddie Loftus now kicks it back out to Stanton. She'll try a long two. No good. Offensive rebound again by Van Sickle. She's got a handful of offensive rebounds. In fact, Van Sickle has 5 rebounds. All of them are offensive as we have another whistle and a foul. Maddie Loftus going to be called for her second personal foul. As you see there, trying to keep Pinto in front of her. And yeah, got her with the left hand there, and Pinto got the foul to go. So she'll go to the free throw line for 1 to try to complete the old-fashioned three-point play, and she does. So Pinto has really come alive here in this second half. Up to 20 points now, so a pair of Colorado School of Mines players with 20 points. Denali Pinto, who had 6 at halftime, and Courtney Stanton, who had 18 at halftime. Allie Franks, she'll try a three-pointer, unguarded, bang! Allie Franks with a three-pointer to cut the lead back to 2, and that's exactly what Dixie State needed as Coach Gustin calls a timeout brought to you by Dairy Queen. Let's take it. It's going to be 60 seconds and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the Trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet.
Welcome back inside Burns Arena as Dixie State trails this one 57-55. 8.5 minutes to go in this one. And the Trailblazers trying to earn their first victory on this floor in conference play. They've lost 3 games on this floor already to begin conference play. All their wins coming on the road at this point in conference. And Dixie State, after dropping last night's game to a 1-10 UCCS team that really came in and played very well. And we mentioned it as just a tale of two teams in last night's game against Colorado Springs, an extremely hot team in UCCS that almost couldn't miss in the first half, and then Dixie State just struggling to put points on the board. That has not been the case for the Trailblazers tonight as Colorado School of Mines controls for the offense and their possession, and that's going to be another and one for Pinto. And she knocks in an 18-foot jumper, and she's going to be fouled, and that is just not what the doctor ordered for Dixie State. Maddie Loftus, as she tries to get over that screen, and as she recovers, and that is a terrible call. I mean, that is an absolute butcher of a call. Loftus did not touch her. I wish they had a replay in college, because that one would be overturned immediately, as Denali Pinto now has 23 points. I mean, Maddie Loftus, I hate to harp on it, but did not touch Denali Pinto. And it cost Dixie State 3 points as London Pavliga tries to work on Stefik, gives to now Brianna Moyati, and she throws it out of bounds. Miscommunication from Moyati and Deshka Olsen, as Olsen tried to cut back door, and Moyati thought she was going to the wing. Dixie State turns it over for the 14th time today. They had 9 turnovers at halftime and now 14 overall. And a nice pass to Courtney Stanton, and Dixie State now falling further into a hole as Courtney Stanton now has 22 points. And J.D. Gustin going to be forced to call another timeout. And he's called 2 in this second half. And we will take it as well. It's going to be 60 seconds. We'll take the 60-second break and be back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, good. You played before, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's all
Okay.
state in high school.
Good, let's run some routes. Give me a post route.
All right, let's do it.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the second floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
1, 2, 3, 4. 0.52 kilograms.
This graph is square.
Pretty close.
Artemisia is all the sage brushes, but there's your needle and thread. Which one is this?
Come down. Turn please, right? Sodium carbonate.
Welcome back inside Burns Arena. Dixie State in a 7-point hole right now, 62-55. Dixie State has gone cold in this second half and have not been able to get Denali Pinto off the scoring charts. She's got 23 points, 17 of which have come in the second half, but a good pass there to Allie Franks from Brianna Moiai, and a good play design from J.D. Gustin out of the timeout. And Allie Franks puts in her 20th point of the game. She's now got 20 points, and on the other end, Van Sickle, she'll try a three-pointer. No good. Rebound to London Pavlica, her 8th. London Pavlica with 11, 8, and 8 right now. 2 assists and 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double with 7:20 to go. Dixie State, though, however, would much rather have a win over Colorado School of Mines, and a backdoor pass was tipped, nearly stolen away, and now tied up. The possession arrow does favor Dixie State, but a backdoor pass went off an Orr-Digger defender, and Brianna Moiai tried to scoop it up, but was tied up in the process, and London Pavlica will try to trigger the inbounds pass. A 4-box setup. Pavlica goes to the cross corner, tries to find Allie Franks, who drives, leads to the lane, lays it up and in, and a foul. Allie Franks, a nice move off the dribble as she got the ball in the corner, went to her left, a couple of dribbles, and one big leap as she lays that one up and in, and she'll go to the free throw line to try to complete the old conventional three-point play. 22 for Allie Franks, and she can cut this lead to 2 by Colorado School of Mines. They did credit London Pavlica with that assist, and Allie Franks completes the three-point play, and it's a 2-point lead for Colorado School of Mines. So London Pavlica, 1 assist and 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double, and the Trailblazers trail by 2, under 7 to go. Pinto now, she'll force up a 3, no good. Rebound to Chesney Stevens. London Pavlica crosses the timeline, eyes up, sets up the offense for Dixie State, hands off with Deshka Olsen. Now back to Olsen. Off the dribble handoff, they give to Olsen, thought about a 3, 1 dribble to her left, and the three-pointer is up, no good. Rebound to Stevens, and she's going to be fouled. Chesney Stevens working hard on the offensive glass. One of few offensive rebounds for Dixie State tonight. Just 7 offensive rebounds for the Trailblazers compared to 16 for Colorado School of Mines. But Chesney Stevens works hard on that one. London Pavlica tries to get to Stevens, another miscommunication. As Stevens tried to go back door, and London Pavlica thought she was going to the perimeter. And another turnover for Dixie State, their 15th. Denali Pinto controls for Colorado School of Mines. She gives to Mikhail Grant. And now back to Van Sickle, down low to Stanton. And she tries to go to the lane, and she's cut off by Chesney Stevens. And a nice defensive play there by Stevens. And London Pavlica controls for Dixie State. Right to left dribble, gets into the paint, now cut off. Deshka Olsen, top of the key, tries to go back door with Allie Franks, but good defense by Pinto. And now they do go back door and stolen away by Pinto, but knocked out of bounds nearly. Pinto grabs it all the way to the lane, and she will lay it up and in. Bad mistake there for Dixie State as they turned the ball over, and Denali Pinto went coast to coast to lay that one up and in. 25 points for Pinto. She had 30 last night against Westminster. She's had a tremendous road trip on this back-to-back stint in Utah. London Pavlica gets into the key, tries to go backdoor with Stevens, and trying to work on Van Sickle, can't do it. Back to Pavlica, thought about a 3. Now she'll penetrate, gives to Stevens underneath, and she'll lay it up and in. London Pavlica now with 10 assists, 11 points, as Stevens goes backdoor, and a great pass by Pavlica. Now just 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double. Pinto on the other end, 15-foot jumper is no good. Rebound to Moiai. On the other end, Allie Franks by Pavlica, and what a pass by London Pavlica to Allie Franks. Great vision by the sophomore guard from Las Vegas, Nevada. London Pavlica with 11 assists. Love to see what her career high is. Have to imagine 11 assists is a career high for London Pavlica. We'll verify to see what her career high in assists are. As on the other end, ball nearly stolen away by Brianna Moiati, a 64-64 game as the Trailblazers have fought out of a 7-point deficit. Deshka Olsen checking out for Dixie State as they'll try to put up another stop against Colorado School of Mines, and they will. Chesney Stevens grabs a big rebound, and London Pavlica now brings the ball into the front court for the Trailblazers. Gets into the paint and cut off by Michaela Grant. She'll back it out. Dribble handoff with Allie Franks. Now to Moiati in the left wing. Franks gives to Loftus. A low block, and she goes all the way with the left hand and lays it up and in. Maddie Loftus with a nice move as she felt the defender on her backside and spun to her right and got all the way to the lane with the left hand. And now Dixie State regains the lead, 66-64. 4 minutes to go inside Burns Arena. Pinto has been the scoring machine for Colorado School of Mines in the second half. 25 points, 19 of which have come in the third and fourth quarters. Stanton cut off. Oh, and a foul are going to be called against Dixie State as Courtney Stanton was penetrating against Chesney Stevens, who put up a good fight, but may have just bumped her with the body. And Stevens, yeah, you see there, kind of just got the arms draped over a little bit. A good call, but sending Courtney Stanton, a 91% free throw shooter, to the free throw line to make her earn it from the stripe. And she misses the first one. So a good foul for Dixie State as Courtney Stanton misses the first free throw. The second one is up and off the front of the rim, and she gets the friendly bounce. 23 points now for Courtney Stanton, and Dixie State owns a slim 1-point lead, 66-65. London Pavlica 2 rebounds shy of her first career triple-double. And she goes and she throws it away. Tried to find Allie Franks on a cut, and she throws it away. A turnover for Dixie State. And on the other end, Stanton gives to Pinto now. She'll try a deep three-pointer, no good off back iron, but Allie Franks is there to try to grab the rebound, but it's a long rebound controlled by Colorado School of Mines, and they take a timeout. A long rebound that Allie Franks was trying to get. As you see here, London Pavlica penetrates. That was the good pass there by Chesney Stevens. And she lays that one up and in. London Pavlica then on the next possession goes down court, a great pass, and Allie Franks is there to lay that one up and in. So let's reset. Dixie State has 4 team fouls in the quarter. They do not have a foul to give. Colorado School of Mines has 2 fouls to give until they are in the bonus. Trailblazers lead 66-65 right now, shooting 10 of 21 from 3. It's been Courtney Stanton and Denali Pinto. Pinto with 25 points, Stanton with 23 points. No other Ordigger has more than 7 points in the game. And Dixie State, after an offensive rebound on the previous 3-point miss by Pinto, will now have to defend. 19 seconds on the shot clock for the Ordiggers. Pinto trying to get to the lane. She's double-teamed Franks and Moiati. Now she'll try to go, and she throws up a wild one, and they're going to call a foul. And J.D. Gustin can't believe it. Pinto was trapped, was double-teamed there, and tried to spin out of it. And then she kind of just goes underneath, and as Moiati is standing straight up, Pinto draws contact, and she'll go back to the free throw line tonight, where she is a perfect 10 of 10 tonight from the free throw line, and she misses. She misses her first free throw, and that is just what Dixie State needed in a 1-point game. Denali Pinto, 25 points, make it 26 with the free throw. London Pavlica now 11 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds. 2 rebounds shy of notching her first triple-double as Allie Franks goes to the lane, and J.D. Gustin is asking for a foul and is not going to get it. In fact, Allie Franks is going to be called for the foul on the other end. and J.D. Gustin is beside himself. Thought there was similar contact against Allie Franks as there was on Pinto on the other end. And J.D. Gustin having a word right now with the official. It'll send Mikhail Grant to the free throw line. Grant of just a 42% free throw shooter, so that was the right person to foul if you're Dixie State. And she misses the first one. So it's tied 66-66, and you see, I mean, that's just as much contact as we've seen on the other end a few times. I mean, Grant is straight up, but I mean, we've seen the same contact on the other end be called for Colorado School of Mines, so not sure I love that one as well. Grant with one more free throw, and she makes that one to give the Colorado School of Mines Orediggers a 1-point lead. 2:50 to go inside Burns Arena. Stevens back to Loftus. She'll try a three-pointer. Bang! Maddie Loftus with another Mountain America three-pointer off a good play design, a screen and a backdoor flare screen. Got Maddie Loftus open, and Dixie State now takes a 2-point lead, 69-67. Pinto on the other end gives to Grant, and now into the corner to Van Sickle. Back to Pinto. She'll try a floating jumper, a whistle, and a foul. It's going to be offensive against Pinto. She floated up, and a good job there by Chesney Stevens, who stood her ground. That's an excellent call, and I've said we've had probably 6 or 7 offensive fouls just like that in this game. I think every single one of them have been correct, especially that one there. That was a good job by Chesney Stevens drawing contact against Pinto. So wipe off the bucket, and Pinto now has her second foul. On the other end, ball was tapped out of bounds by Colorado School of Mines as Moiai was penetrating. Just got handed a note. One triple-double in Dixie State women's basketball history. It was Deanna Daniels, March 4th, 2010 versus Hawaii Hilo, where she had 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 steals. So a triple-double with rebounds and steals, as well as points, as London Pavlica 2 rebounds shy of notching the second triple-double in Dixie State women's basketball history. Addie Loftus now, she gives to Allie Franks. She'll try an 18-foot jumper. Bang! Allie Franks with ice in her veins. A turnaround 18-foot jumper right in the face of her defender. And Allie Franks now has 27 points, a career high for the senior from Redding, California. And she has carried Dixie State offensively in this second half. And a rebound by Maddie Loftus, and a good defensive play by the Dixie State defense. Trailblazers a minute and a half away from what would be a great victory after falling to UC Colorado Springs last night. 71-67. Chesney Stevens penetrates, can't get it to go though. J.D. Gustin asking for some contact, but to no avail. Stefik on the other end. And now back to Stanton. She'll try a three-pointer, no good. Rebound controlled by Moiai. And now she gives to London Pavlica under a minute play in Burns Arena. 25 seconds to go. Nearly stolen, and it's stolen away by Stefik as she's working on Pavlica. Goes up and under. She lays it up and in. What a turn of events for Colorado School of Mines. Ashley Stefik just took that one away from London Pavlica, and she went all the way and goes up and under to lay it up and in. And Dixie State will be forced to call a timeout. A 71-69 lead for Dixie State. Once again, timeouts brought to you by Dairy Queen, as we'll keep it right here for the final timeout, presumably, of this game. And 71-69 lead. Dixie State was sitting pretty up 4 with 48, 49 seconds remaining before that steal from Stefik. But Trailblazers now have to rethink a few things offensively. They could, they're obviously going to try to hold and run down the shot clock as much as possible, but you'd love to get a good look here. A bucket here would be absolutely huge. If you go up by 4 and you take the shot clock down to under 30 seconds, you take the game clock down to under 30 seconds, and you force them to play the foul game, obviously they're a great free throw shooting team, but still certainly would like to get a good look here for your offense. Looks like Colorado School of Mines is going to put some pressure in the backcourt for Dixie State. Also showing career assists in a game is 12 The record for assists in a game is 12. London Pavlica, like I mentioned, has 11. So one off the Dixie State career high, and Colorado School of Mines will go to the foul game at 42 seconds remaining. They'll send Maddie Loftus to the free throw line. As you see there, Pinto is going to be called for her third personal foul. They still have that was their foul to give, however, so not going to go to the free throw line yet as they get it into Moiai, and she's fouled from behind by Sammy Van Sickle, her fourth. And that was probably not the person you want to put on the free throw line if you're Dixie State. And J.D. Gustin is asking for a review of this play, saying that there was no play on the ball, that Van Sickle kind of reached around, almost grabbed the waist of Moiai. As you see here, no play on the ball. She just grabs the waist, and Gustin is asking for a review of this play to see if they're going to, maybe deem this an intentional foul. Obviously, the rule in college basketball states that you have to make a play on the ball. You can't just grab the player, that has the ball. You have to try to make a play on the ball. And indeed, they will review this one for an intentional foul. And certainly by the definition, by the book, there was certainly no play made on the ball. They were just wrapping up, as you see there. The replay you're getting to see. And they took a quick look at it, and they are, now going to look at it once again. And I think again, what they're discussing, you see Van Sickle grab Moiai by the waist, makes no attempt to try to steal the ball or reach for the ball. She just grabs Moiai by the waist, and that, by definition, is what they're looking for in terms of an intentional foul. And it's going to be interesting to see what they call. I mean, this is a huge call at this point in the game. If they call an intentional foul, it's 2 shots and the ball for Dixie State. Instead, just a normal foul would be 2 shots, and then, the rebound or whatever would maybe give it back to Colorado School of Mines. But 2 shots and the ball would be the penalty for an intentional foul if they do call it. And the referees still discussing. They're going to bring head coach Gustin and the head coach for Colorado School of Mines, Brittany Simpson, in to talk about this one. And looks like they indeed are going to call an intentional. Well, we'll see. Just a common foul. Okay, trying to get the ruling here from the scores table. Just a common foul. So ruled not an intentional foul, just a common foul. So Brianna Moiai will just get 2 shots. Moiai, a 56% free throw shooter on the season, and she makes the first. That's the most important one to make if you're Dixie State. Now it's a 3-point game. If you make this one, it's a 2-possession game. Second free throw from Moiai is up, no good, off back iron, but an offensive rebound by Allie Franks, and she'll be fouled. And they'll send Allie Franks back to the free throw line for 2. And a good job by Allie Franks, a good offensive rebound and clutch time by Allie Franks. And she'll go back to the free throw line to try to extend her career high. Right now, she has 27 points, could make it 28 and 29 at the free throw line, a 64% free throw shooter. First one, however, is short. Dixie State still owns a 3-point lead. Trailblazers trying to earn their 9th victory of the season. As Allie Frank's second free throw is no good. She misses them both. So this one not over just yet. A 69-72 3-point lead for Dixie State. Ball in the hands of Liz Holzer. Now she'll give to Pinto. Rolling pick and roll. She'll try a step back 3-pointer by Pinto. No. And rebounded by London Pavlica. That's her 9th rebound. 1 rebound away from a triple-double as she grabs that rebound and then is immediately fouled by Liz Holzer. So London Pavlica now 1 rebound away from just the 2nd triple-double in Dixie State history. Once again, remind you, first triple-double in Dixie State women's basketball was recorded by Deanna Daniels on March 4th, 2010. as London Pavliga misses the first free throw, and free throws really coming into play here as 4 consecutive misses for Dixie State has kept this game at a 1-possession game. Second free throw by Pavliga is good. She's got 12 points, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds as we take a timeout. It's going to be a 30-second timeout. Once again, timeout's brought to you by Dairy Queen. We'll keep it right here. So 73-69 lead for Dixie State. In this situation, you got to believe that Colorado School of Mines is going to go to Denali Pinto. She's got 26 points to this point, and she's really been their scorer for this second half. Courtney Stanton has chipped in a few points. She had 18 at halftime. She now has 23, so they've held her in check to just 5 points in the second half. But Denali Pinto has really come alive for them, and after a quiet first half, just 6 points in that first half, she's exploded for 20 points in just 2 quarters of play, and it's a testament to the just pure score that is Denali Pinto. And I mentioned it earlier, she is a 6 foot guard, and she's a very lengthy, very athletic. I mean, typically 6 feet in women's basketball, you're going to look for a wing player, or maybe a 4 or a 5, a low post player. But Pinto is certainly not that. She's a 6 foot guard, very lengthy and very quick, and she can score with the best of them. They're going to look to go to Pinto here, I would assume, and it's stolen away nearly by Maddie Loftus, and she grabs it. Coach Gustin calling for a timeout, and he's going to get it. And that is a good timeout for Coach Gustin, because the possession arrow, one referee was signaling for a tie-up on the far side of the floor, and had they called the tie-up, it would have been a possession arrow favoring Colorado School of Mines. They are discussing that, however, what came first, the timeout or the tie-up. They are going to award the timeout to Coach Gustin, so a big break for Dixie State, as the tie-up would have favored the Ore Diggers and would have given them another chance to get another look at this play, another look at to close into this gap, this 4-point lead. But it will be a timeout for Dixie State, just a 30 though, so that was it. I mean, the timeout has come and gone just like that, and we're back in action as we get set to play out the final 14.3 seconds of this one. It'll be Allie Franks to trigger the inbounds pass. London Pavliga and Brianna Moiai there on the far side of the floor. They give it into London Pavliga, and she's fouled immediately by Ashley Stefik. So London Pavliga will go to the free throw line for 2 free throws, 1 rebound shy of a triple-double, and can't imagine she'll get one more. Perhaps on the other end she may be able to, but the free throw is up and good, so she's got 13. Still a 2-possession game. Colorado School of Mines is out of timeouts, however. No timeouts left for the Ore Diggers as London Pavliga trying to track down her own rebound, and she can't do it. That one, I don't know if that one was intentional or not, but she nearly tracked down her own rebound. And but there's going to be a lane. Excuse me, it's going to be rebounded by Brianna Moiai. She is fouled immediately, and she'll go to the free throw line for 2. So 11.9 seconds to go. Moiai could make it a 3-possession game if she makes both free throws. First one is up, and it's no good. Couple of bounces off the iron and rolls off the front. So one more free throw for Brianna Moiai as she tries to make this a 6-point game with 11.9 remaining. And she puts it in. So Moiai hits the second of 2 free throws. She's got a pair of points tonight. As on the other end, Van Sickle tries a deep 3, and she drills it. So 75-72, 6.7 left. Van Sickle, a deep 3. That one was NBA range for sure, as a foul immediately on the other end will send Maddie Loftus to the free throw line. That 3 here, we can see it again, just past the Dixie State logo for Van Sickle, and she drills it. I mean, that was a cold-blooded 3 there to cut the lead in half, but Maddie Loftus can all but ice this game if she can make one, and she puts it in. The first free throw is good. Maddie Loftus has 9 points as Dixie State now extends this to a 2-possession game, 76-72, with one more free throw from Loftus coming. And she puts it up and puts it in. 10 points now, double figures for Maddie Loftus. Pinto now on the other end, 3 with 2 with 1. The shot is up, it's no good, and it's going to be rebounded by Chesney Stevens, and London Pavliga will fall 1 rebound short of the second triple-double in Dixie State history. But the most important thing is the Trailblazers with a huge victory here on their home floor, a 77-72 win over Colorado School of Mines, and a team that they desperately needed to come out and have a good performance against, and they did. And we talked about it on last night's game, in the post-game show. We wanted to see this Trailblazers women's basketball team after a tough loss last night. We wanted to see them come out and try to, play well and not let that loss define them. And they needed to come out, show some heart, play well, and really recover from that bad loss last night. And they did just that. It was a really an unfortunate loss, and I think a lot of the players felt that last night, that, hey, we are a better team than we played last night, and they came out and proved that tonight after a big win here on their home floor against a good Colorado School of Mines team, as they earn a 77-72 victory over the Ore Diggers. We will let's take a timeout here. We're going to come back and we'll give you some final stats. We'll talk a little bit about what the Trailblazers were able to do in the second half to let them earn a 5-point victory in our Guru Sports Grill post-game show. We'll do a quick post-game show. Obviously, we got to get you ready for the men's game coming up in about 20 minutes or so. But we'll come back in about 2 minutes, give you some stats, give you some second half highlights, name a player of the game, and a Catering Concepts play of the game. So let's do it. 2-minute timeout. We'll be back with the Guru Sports Grill post-game show back in 2 minutes on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
There is a place where the desert comes alive, where rain breaks forth from solid stone and gardens spring from blistered rock. There is a place with enough color to make a rainbow jealous, where boulders are bigger than buildings and cliffs are higher than clouds. There is a place that will straighten your step, tighten your grip, widen your eyes, and open your jaw. There is a place.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear, because for 75 years, he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like, if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
I got you right where I want you. If I make this one, it's over. I win.
No pressure. Bring it.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the second floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel, someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Welcome back inside Burns Arena as Dixie State earns a 77-72 victory over Colorado School of Mines. And a hard-fought victory it was for Dixie State. It was a game in which, we asked them to respond after the game last night, the tough loss to Colorado Springs, and they responded very, very well, and they earned a big victory over Colorado School of Mines. A team that just last night defeated Westminster. Westminster ranked the 12th ranked team in the country, and Colorado School of Mines goes on the road and defeats Westminster in a good game, beat them by 10, in fact. So for the Trailblazers to play as well as they did tonight and beat Colorado School of Mines 77-72, it's really a testament of how they responded after last night's tough loss. Let's start things first as we welcome you into our Guru Sports Grill post-game show. Just a quick post-game show as we get you set for the men's game coming up in about 15 minutes or so. But let's start our Guru Sports Grill post-game show off with some second half highlights if we have those. Let's see if we can't run those second half highlights for you as we get things going. And London Pavlica, I mean, she was the story throughout the entire game. A great pass there to Chesney Stevens. And you'll see here London Pavlica off the screen from Stevens, just buries a three-pointer. And she played well throughout the entire game. There's Allie Franks, gets the offensive rebound, and then lays that one up and in. Deshka Olsen had 14 points. She ties a career high for Dixie State as she hit a couple of big threes there, especially in that third quarter. Really carried some of the scoring load for them. Allie Franks lays that one up and in, and she had a career high as well, tied a career high with 26 points for them as well. And you see there, London Pavlica one more time with a pass to Chesney Stevens underneath the basket. Mentioned earlier, London Pavlica with 11 assists, one off the Dixie State record for assists in a game as she throws the down-court pass to Allie Franks, who lays that one up and in. And then Maddie Loftus, she was clutch down the end as well. She had a few free throws there to seal the victory towards the end, and then she hit a big three in the layup there with the left hand as she notched 10 points for Dixie State. This was a big deuce for Allie Franks, a 15-foot jump shot there to seal the 77-72 victory over Colorado School of Mines. As we welcome in assistant coach Matt Legursky to the Guru Sports Grill post-game show here. And Matt, thanks for coming out and joining us on the post-game show here. I mean, had to be a tremendous feeling in the locker room after a very tough loss last night against Colorado Springs, to rebound against a team that just beat the 12th ranked team in the country last night at Westminster. Had to be a good feeling getting this victory tonight.
That's right. It's yeah, you're absolutely correct. The feeling in the locker room was outstanding, and the feeling in the locker room was outstanding right now. I've been doing this a long time, and to have a group experience what they experienced last night, and within 24 hours turn it around, respond in the fashion that our group responded with tonight. It is a good feeling in that locker room right now.
Have to give a lot of credit to Allie Franks. I imagine she was maybe the most vocal after that loss last night, being the senior that she is. She had a tough scoring night last night. She rebounded to match a career high with 27 tonight, and had to imagine she was one of the more vocal leaders in that loss last night coming into today's game.
Absolutely. In her leadership role as a senior, there was no one more devastated last night than Allie Franks, not just with her individual performance or lack thereof, but the feeling of letting the team down, so to speak, and the team experienced such a disappointing game last night. To just come back again, she's indicative of what the group did. Less than 24 hours and responded and come up with a huge game tonight for us.
Talk a little bit about your defense. He had two really good scores tonight. I mean, Denali Pinto is one of the better scorers in the conference, and she proved it tonight. She had 26 points, 20 of which came in the second half. Yeah. Early on in the first half, you struggled a little bit with Courtney Stanton, and it kind of seems like, scorers get their points no matter what. Even if you do a good job against Pinto in the first half, she comes back and gets 20 in the second half. What was she doing that was giving you guys such fits in the second half?
Well, first and foremost, she's an outstanding basketball player. She scores in variety. She can score from three. She can put it on the bounce and get to a mid-range game. She can get to the rim. She's crafty. She uses her body well to get to the foul line. So, for us in the first half, we just wanted to make her earn everything. Kesley has shown over the course of, our first 12, 13 games here that she can guard really well. Unfortunately, tonight she got in some foul trouble. And then it was kind of by committee in the second half when Kesley went out with some fouls. And Pinto's just a good player, and they're gonna, get theirs. What we wanted to do is we wanted to limit her 3 attempts. So if she was going to get 26, it had to come from twos. We were hoping to keep her off the foul line. Didn't do a great job of that, but we did a good job of guarding the three-point line. So that was kind of what we were after, is to make her a 2-point scorer, make it difficult, make her have to earn every basket. And I thought for the most part she earned everything she got tonight.
Yeah, I agree, Coach. I mean, 7 of 19 from the field, 1 of 6 from the free throw line, or 1 of 6 from the three-point line, and then 11 of 12 from free throws. So that's where she got the majority of her points. But I think you did a good job of making it tough on her. And like you said, you got to try to force her into what she's not comfortable doing and shooting threes. So I got to talk about London Paviga before we let you go. Obviously, one rebound shy of notching just the second triple-double in women's basketball history here at Dixie State. 13 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds. Seems like every game she's a stat stuffer, and she does so many good things for your team. What did she do tonight that was so much more than what she does normally, where she's not having almost a triple-double a night?
Well, she just brought what she brings to the table and brought it at a high level, and that's a competitiveness that's rare. She's an ultra competitor. Last night's game again, it was 1 through 12, 13, 14 on our roster that felt it. But London has a competitiveness, a fire, and so she brought it tonight. And yeah, she's a playmaker. She, makes things happen. And so not surprising that she, came just shy of a triple-double, because she has the ability to do a variety of things, scoring the ball, distributing the ball. And she's an incredible, for her size, incredible rebounder from the guard position.
Coach, thanks so much. Appreciate you spending time with us.
Appreciate having me.
Thanks so much. That's Matt Legursky, assistant coach for this Dixie State women's basketball team. And like he mentioned, a gutty victory for Dixie State. And he mentioned very vocal in the locker room was this Dixie State team about how, that's not the team they are. They wanted to come out and prove something tonight, against a tough team in Colorado School of Mines, and they did just that. And, he mentioned Allie Franks, he mentioned London Paviga, talking about the competitiveness of these women that, are able to go into a locker room and say, hey, this is not who we are. We're a much better team than we showed last night. And I loved what he said about trying to contain such a great scorer by Denali Pinto. I mean, she is a great scorer. She's a great basketball player. She's very crafty and very very good at doing what she wants to do, of getting to the rim and getting her open looks and getting to the free throw line. And she did a tremendous job of that tonight. 11 of 12 from the free throw line. And, she struggled a little bit from the field, 7 of 19, and just 1 of 6 from threes. But she got 26 points, all the same, and she averages 18 points. She had 30 last night against Westminster, and they did make it tough on her. That's one of the good things we can say. Despite scoring 26 points, they did make it tough on Denali Pinto, as they earn the 77-72 victory over Colorado School of Mines. They improved to 9-4 overall and 4-3 in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. Colorado School of Mines, a similar 4-3 Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference record, but a 7-5 overall record for the Ore Diggers. That will do it for us. Before we go, let's just quickly mention a player of the game and a play of the game. I think the player of the game, for me at least, is pretty obvious. I'm going to give it to London Paviga. 1 rebound shy of a triple-double, 13 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds as well. I mean, she just controlled everything for Dixie State tonight. She was all over the place. As far as the catering concepts play of the game, we just mentioned our SkyWest Airlines player of the game, London Paviga. Our catering concepts play of the game. A couple of these, could be considered. I think one that maybe is an underrated one. Allie Franks hit about an 18-foot 2-point jumper here in crunch time, I think, to give Dixie State a 2-point lead as it was tied, and Allie Franks got the ball with no hesitation, kind of had a defender right in her face and just elevated from about 18 feet away. It was not a great shot as far as analytically goes, but she had a little bit of space and felt like she could elevate, and she put it in, and I think we're going to give that our catering concepts play of the game. So that'll do it for us. Men's game coming up in about 7 or 8 minutes from now. Carrick Segmiller or Mike Olson will be on the call for that one as the men try to take on Colorado School of Mines and maintain a tremendous start to their 2019-2020 campaign as well. For Drayson Ball and the entire CEC crew, thank you so much for joining us today. Hope to keep you around for the men's game coming up in about 7 minutes or so. A 77-72 victory for Dixie State's women's basketball as they improve to 4-3 in conference play. Thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you in a few minutes for the men's basketball game.